In this video, I'm playing a 5-point match against XG and analyzing it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. I now have a membership option where members can get exclusive access to the most popular videos, such as this one. My book, Backgammon and Backgammon Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. Again, I'm playing a 5-point match against XG on a beautiful black talkie board. The XG board is made by Rain. He makes beautiful XG boards. There's a link in the description to where you can get them. I'm playing the red checkers at the bottom, and XG is playing the turquoise blue checkers at the top. Thank you to my good friend Simon Bargett, who recommended slowing down the checkers so that makes it easier to see. So that's what I did. You let me know what you think. 6-3, make a standard split. 4-3, duplicate the twos here. 3-1. Okay, so I can just make the 5-point. That gives 6s here and 6s there. 4-3 again. We'll do the same thing. Now 4-3 for me. Okay, so now what I want to do is get out of the way there and make the 10-point. Double 3 comes out, makes a 3-point. The race is relatively close. So one thing I can do is come up and safety. Do I want to do that being behind in the race, or can I just go like this? And we'll just stay back. Sometimes when you have only a single checker back to 2 checkers back, which is the case here, although it's an advanced anchor, the focus is on escaping the back checkers, and it's easier to escape from here. But because the 9-point is made, there will become some issues, like 5s are blocked and there are more attacking options with a 2-point board, also against the 2-point board, but blue has an anchor. 6-2 makes the bar point. Double 4, that's a good roll. So 1, 2. And then I don't want to bring these down. I can just make the 4-point. That's really nice. 4-1 comes in and hits. Okay, now I have some shots, but it's only 5-4 from here, and then 5-1, 4-1, 2-1, and double 1. So that's 9 numbers. So let's think about O'Hagan's law. If you have 9 net market losers and the rest of the time you're doing okay, then it's a double. So that's 9 numbers, but you have to subtract the 6-4, double 6, and 6-3, double 6, and double 3. That's 4 numbers, so not enough. I am up a little bit in the race. I have 1 checker back to another checker back and an anchor here. 1, 2, 3 exposed blocks, but I still have work to do. So I'll roll 6-4. Just come in, and once I come in, and come out, so I don't give all these shots here. Can hit with the 3, but a lot of the 3s are duplicated to make a point here, such as 3-1, 3-2, 4-3, and even 2-1 can make a 5-point. So that's duplicated like there. 3-1, now I couldn't make the 5-point. I can't the point on head. 5-4. Okay, so now this is where I can come in with the 5 and then think about a 4, like something safe. Gives a lot of options. Or I can come in with the 4 and hit with a 5, or I can come in with the 4 and play 10-5. I think I kind of like this. This distributes things. It doesn't put a checker deep and it leaves that checker here. It is going to be a little hard, and there are some attacking options. But if blue is going to do that, it's going to have a hard time bringing these things home, and I have a stronger board, so I'll try this one. All right, 4-3 makes the point on head. 5-4. Okay, so the 5 is forced, and now the 4 you have to do it with tempo. This is what my friend Sheeman calls a tactical play. The tactical play is different from a strategic play. The tactical play has to do with what's going to happen in the next immediate 2-roll sequence, whereas a strategic play is something that's going to be long-lasting overall in terms of the game plan. For example, making a 5-point. Or running a checker back home, escaping both back checkers. 6-4 dances. Okay, so now probably have a double because I can hit with 2s, I can cover with 5s. I do have a good racing lead. I have the better board. 5-2 is a perfect roll. There we go. 3-1 comes in with 1. 6-2. Okay, so now this one doesn't hit, so I'm just going to come in and bring it safely. I could bring another builder here, but I don't really want to leave those shots. 6-2, okay. 6-5. So now I'm going to have to hit here. 6-4 dances. 5-3, so 5 and 3 covers. Okay, double 1. So now I'm going to shift and then play here. And I don't want to go up because that'll give double 4s. This will also give double 4s and leave too many blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4-1. Here's the 4, and here's the 1. It does leave the double 4s, but now there are 4 active builders bearing on a 4 point. 4-2, now I have a lot of shots. 4-1, there you go, close the board. So likely gammon. Just don't want to leave bad numbers. So I think I'm going to have to play this here, and then I'll play it like this. So that way, double 6s are okay, double 5 is blocked, up to 4 is okay. Okay, it's 6-5, 6-4, 5-4, okay. 6-3, so 6 and then 3. Double 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's forced. 5-2 dances, 2-1, I'm going to bear 1 off. 6-2 comes in with 1. The more I've borne off before the opponent comes in, the higher the likelihood of a gammon. And gammons are valuable here because they get me to the Crawford score. Anytime you can get to the Crawford score, that's valuable because your opponent cannot double, and that gives you a little bit of a cushion. So that's a gammon. It's going to be 1 away, 5 away Crawford. Now 5-1, bring 1 down and split. 4-1 hits twice. That's what you do when someone splits with a 1 here with a 5-1, 4-1, or 2-1, and you roll 4-1. You can hit twice. The first hit is going to be deep, and the second hit just gets another checker on the bar, and you're already on the 2 point anyway. 4-3 comes in with both checkers. 6-3 comes in and hits. Now I have a double shot. Obviously, I can't double because it's the Crawford game. So 4, and then the 3 I'm going to bring down. 5-1 hits again. So when you're playing in a Crawford game where gammon losses don't matter, you can afford to get into a hitting exchange. I'm going to stay back. 6-1, 6-2 dances. 6-3 comes in with 1. All right, double 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alternatively, I can make this point and keep the spare there, but I don't like that deep point. So I'll make this and this. I can't move the back checkers. I think making the 5 point is better than the 3 point. 6-2. Okay, I'll just make the 4 point. It does leave a block, but it does make the 4 point the best 3 point for the rack, and it unstacks the heavy 6 point. And that's really important. 3-1 hits and continues. 4-1. So, do I need to hit here? I don't think so. I think I could just spread out the checkers. What happens if I hit here? There's a 6-3, 6-2, 6-1, 4-3, 5-3, 5-2. That's 12 numbers. Just hit there. Don't really want to do that. I could step up and give a little better coverage. It does leave 4s and 1s, and double 2s become good. I could just come in with 4 and then spread things out here. I think this might be the best bet. Blue still has some things to consolidate, and he has a gap in his board here, which can prove to be problematic. 2-1, now I can make the 20 points, so that's going to be really nice. Okay, let's hit 6-4, so now I can come out and hit. Despite the fact that I'm outboarded, first of all, what's plan B? I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do this. And it does gain a lot in the race. these 4s, 5s, and 6s that don't come in are diversified to hit. So that's good for blue. But again, what's plan B? Like there. So now dance, double 5 is a good roll. Okay. So a gammon loss at this score doesn't mean much, but a backgammon loss does. So might try to go for it. Usually you have to get really unlucky to lose a backgammon. Sometimes that happens. Here's the shot. Okay. So backgammon is saved. All right, 3-1. Now it's a three-way, so there's no free drop. Just take 6-5, just run 6-2 splits, 5-3. So here we're going to unstack and then step up. 6-3, come in, and I can hit here, but better yet is to come in and hit here. Because now 2s and 4s to come in are that hit are duplicated to come in, whereas here you get good 6s from the bar. Plus, I'm trying to escape this back checker, and now it's partially escaped. All right, there we go. 6-3, so now I can make the 10-point. Getting there, 4-1. I'm just going to try to come home safely. I have a pretty big lead in the race. 3-2. So I can keep spares on here and put a builder there, or I can come here. This looks kind of awkward. I'm going to have 5 on one point. I'd like to have builders on the other. So might as well just hit like this with all these 2 blocks on the board, try to get them out of there. I think. Dance it, okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's completely forced. All right. Now I'm going to try to bring things in. The 6-3 is forced. Now 6-3, 6-1, double 3 hit. Double 1 does not have attacking chances. Okay, so I can make this point, leave us 17 numbers, or I can just try to bring this home, leaving 11 numbers plus 2, that's 13 numbers. So cost of 4 extra numbers. I think I just play safe here, or safer. Double 2. So one, 2, or I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I roll a 5, it's going to have to go there. So maybe not 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5, 4. Okay, make the point on head. It is awkward because I have this extra checker here on the 6. So now 6-5, double 6, and double 5 lead the shot. But double 1 is very good. So I'm going to make this point and then continue. And now I just have to clear. Don't need to bear off aggressively. All I need is a single win. So that's it. Now I'll analyze it. So the initial 6-3 was a simple split right here. And then the 3-1 was just to make the point, and the 4-3 was to safety and consolidate by making the 10-point. And the 3-1 was just this 14 to 10. The other play I looked at was coming up and safetying this. That does help possibly escape the remaining back checker, but it leaves it under attack over here. They didn't want to do that. The double 4, this was interesting. So this one, the first 2 were to hit. That was correct. But then the second 2, it didn't like the 8 to 4. What I did resulted in this position. Top play resulted in this position. So there are a few differences here. After both plays, I have a 3-point board. So this is after 8-4, I have the best 3-point board, the rack. And then after 6-2, I still have a 3-point board, but with a gap in it. So there are a couple of things to notice here. Number one, after I do this, I have builders to make this point. So these checkers on the 10-point bear on the 4-point. That leaves them as builders here. After this, that's not the case because I've already made the 4-point, and this does not bear on the 3-point. So there are only 2 builders for the 3-point, and they're not diversified. That means they're both on the same point. It's not like if it was one on the 6 and one on the 5. And then the other thing is, after this play, actually after either play, the hitting numbers are 4s here from the 12-point, the blues midpoint to blues 9-point. After this play that I made, 4s cannot be used to come in, but 4s are good to hit. So that means the 4s are diversified. On the other hand, here, the 4s that hit are duplicated to enter. So now 4-2 doesn't hit, whereas over here 4-2 hits, and then 3-2 and 4-3 and 4-1 also hit. So those are the big swings. Looking at these two, this is the resulting position after the top play, and this is the resulting position after the play I chose. I'll look at the dice distribution for the people that are not familiar with it. This is how all of blues rolls play after the top play, which looks like this. Okay, and green is good for me and red is bad for me. Okay, so this looks at double 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, and so forth. All 36 rolls with an average column on the right, and this is the exact same thing for play B, the play that I made. So you can see the dancing numbers are really good. For example, double 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, and this is again 5, 2, double 5, 6, 5, 6, 2, 6, 5, and double 6. So those are the dancing numbers here. Here, the dancing numbers are 4s, 5s, and 6s here. So those are good. So what happens is there's a big difference, and the lower left shows the difference between the two. So 4-2 is a double 2 is a huge swing here. Because over here, it's actually good because it comes in and it hits, whereas over here it dances. Double 4 is the big other swing because after the top play, it comes in and hits, but after the second play, it does not. So you can see that down here, and that's over here. But the other 2s are really big, like the 4-2, which I mentioned. So after here, 4-2 comes in and does not hit, whereas 4-2 does hit. Those are the diversified numbers. So you can see here, that's what happens, the 4s. Okay, so that was that. And then the 6-4 was just to come in and out. And then the 5-4. Okay, so this was the interesting one. This is the one that I looked at, and it's actually good. I'm happy that I looked at it because the most common times I'm making errors by overlooking a play. So at least noticing it is half the battle. So here, I played like this, coming in with the 4 and playing like that. You can see that coming up higher and playing 10-6 was an error here too. That was a bigger blunder because you don't want this stack that results like this. Okay? This was the right play. This is the play I chose. So one of the things that happens is you look at these tactically. I've been fortunate to be proofreading Dirk Schieman's upcoming book about hitting. I'm excited about that because he talks a lot about this. So after this play, it's pretty simple to look at rolls like double 6, double 5, double 4, 6, 5, 6, 4, and 5, 4. Those are all bad numbers. Those are 9 bad numbers for blue. So those are really good numbers for me. How do they play here? Well, they play pretty good. Like the 5-4 is really good. Double 5, double 4 are really good. Even the 6-5. So those are big swing numbers. So again, I'll look at the dice distribution. This is the top play, and that results in this position, and the second play results in this position. So let's look at the dice distribution after the top play is over here. Look at all this green with the 4s, 5s, and 6s, all the dancing rolls. and over here they play really good. So this is the difference here. There are big swings like 5-4, double four, and double five, which I identified. And you can look at it here. After play A, you cannot move with a 5-4 or a double four or a double five, but after play B, they're really good. So let's say I make play A. Obviously, these numbers dance, but let's say I make play B. Okay, let me put this on the other board. Okay, so I make play B here and here, and now the top swing rolls are 5-4. So 5-4 plays like this. What were the other ones? Double four and double five. So double four makes the point, results in this position. And what was the other one? Double five is the big one. Goes like this. So if you can identify a play which makes the opponent's good rolls become bad, those are called swing rolls. That's what you want to identify, and that's a really good way to learn. Okay, so then the next 5-4, the 5 was forced, and then the hitting was basically the only reasonable alternative. You just have to do it for tempo. Otherwise, you give the opponent the initiative. And then after the dance, this was a double, and it was a take. So here are the things that I like to do to study these. And I do this for just about every doubling decision. So I see here, first of all, look at the winning chances. 62%, not huge, but the gammons are very lopsided, 26% to only 10%. So how much is a double gammon worth on a 2 cube? So you go to cube information, Control Alt K, and then you look at gammon value, and then you put it on a 2 cube. So now look, the gammon value on a 2 cube is 0.655. So what is the gammon value for the people that are not familiar with it? The gammon value is basically the additional value that you get by winning a gammon. How much it costs you to win a gammon, or how many more gammons you have to win to justify a play that makes excessive losses. In a money game or an unlimited game, it's always 0.5 because you need 2 extra net gammons for every loss that you have to justify it. Here, you don't need quite as many because the gammon value is higher. The reason why the gammon value is higher is because it gets you to the Crawford game. 1 away, 5 away Crawford, you're gaining a lot there. So that's what you want to think about. So that's going to make a big difference. So let's take a look at different scores. Here for money, it's probably not quite a double, or maybe a small double. It's a small double, but it's 555, and here it's worth 597. So you see, you're still winning 62% of the time, but you have a higher equity. And that's because the double gammons get you to the Crawford score. And the single game gets you to the 3-away, 5-away score, which is good too. Okay, so let's look at it at different scores. So this was the money score. This was 5-away, 5-away. Now let's look at another score. So let's say I'm 4-away and 5-away. This one you want to double a little bit more aggressively. And this one becomes a very strong double, much stronger double. See, now it's 768. The reason for that is you have this 4-away phenomenon. When you're a 4-away and you win a double gammon, which is the case 26% of the time here, then you win the match perfectly with perfect efficiency. You always want to win the match with perfect efficiency. That means win exactly the number of points that the match is up to. In this case, the match is up to 5, so you want 5 points. If I get 6 points, 7 points, or anything more than that, that's called overage, and that's wasting points that you could have otherwise used. So if I were, for example, 3 away, I'm not getting full value on the gammons. So let's see what happens. At 3 away, I'm not getting full value on the gammons, but they're not bad. But look at this. Now it's a blunder to double. Whereas at four-way, it's not. So that's something you want to think about anytime you're at a four-way score. What if it's four-way? Both players are four-way, and the away score refers to how many points you are away from your goal. In this case, the goal is 5 because it's a 5-point match, and at 1-1, each player is four-way. Now this becomes a strong double, very strong double. And what about a four-way, three-away? Now it becomes a pass. And a four-way, two-way might even be too good to double. No, but it's a big pass. Okay, and then if you're a three-way, two-way, again, the double gammon wins you the match, but with not quite as much efficiency, you just don't win enough. And what about a three-way, three-way? Now it's a stronger double because at three-way, three-way, you want to double more aggressively. But now let's say you're up by three-away, two-away. You don't want to do that. Now it's a blunder to double. And if you're up two-away, three-away, probably a bigger blunder because now you're killing your own gammons. So when you double at two-away, that means you're going to get 2 points for a single win. Therefore, if you get a gammon, it's devalued. There's no extra value. You're killing your own gammons. So you never want to do that. Okay, so the other things that I like to do is to think about the market losers. So I have developed a dice distribution tool that you can use to look at the market losers. You can go in the regular dice distribution here and see, like, what are the good rolls for you? Like 5-2 was the best. That's what I got. And then here you can see it too. It just doesn't show quite as much. Okay, so these are all my first rolls that lose the market. So you can see the 5-2 was the biggest, double 5 and double 2 are big. Anything that's green means the value is more than 1, which means the equity is more than 1. So that means it was a pass. It becomes a pass after these sequences. This is a partial market losing sequence because it's only the first roll, doesn't consider the second roll. And a market losing sequence is always a sequence of 2 rolls, one by you and one by your opponent. So this is what happens. 5-2, double 5, and double 2 go over 1. Here, the abscissa or the x-axis is at 1, not at 0, because we're just looking at the market losers. And this is how they play. The 5-2 was how I said, and you can see all these here. The second rolls, these are the partial market losing second rolls. So anytime the opponent dances, that's huge. That's huge. Okay, and then that's what's seen here. And these are the market losing sequences. So this is a 36 by 36 grid. Instead of a 6 by 6 that shows the next roll, this shows the next 2 rolls. So the next 36 possible rolls by me are listed at the top, and then the average is here at the bottom. And then the same thing for the opponent are listed on the left, and the average is on the right. So in this grid, white to green is a market losing sequence. And a red means it's a non-market losing sequence. So if the equity after this 2-roll sequence is less than 1, it's red no matter what. So the first cell represents the sequence where I roll a double 1 and then the opponent rolls a double 1. The next one is when I roll a 2-1 and then the opponent rolls a double 1. And so forth for all 1,296 possible combinations. There happen to be 441 unique permutations. So white to green means it's a market loser and red means it's a non-market loser. Now the difference between the color in terms of green, light green and white tells you how much you lose your market by. So the darker the green, the more you lose your market by. So for example, with the 5-2 followed by any dancing number like double 4, 5-4, 6-4, and all these numbers, that loses the market by the most. So you can see there are a lot of market losers here, but it's still enough for a take. This is the equity heat map. It's basically shown in reverse, but everything is shown. It's not just the market losers. So good sequences are green and bad sequences are red. And this is for the opponent because it's looking at the the take pass decision. These are the jokers for me. So as I said, like all those 5-2s, and then these are the anti-jokers. Okay. So that's what happened. It was a 5-2 followed by a 3-1, which was 5-2 followed by a 3-1, lost the market here. Okay. Now, the other thing I like to do is go to another board and modify the position to see what would make it stronger or what would make it weaker. This is one of the best ways for me to learn, and I definitely recommend it to my students. So here we saw already on the plus analysis that at 5-away, in this position, it's a double and it's a take. Let's say there was no blot to shoot at. Now it's a blunder to double. Let's say this checker is here, but now I have an extra builder here. Let's see what happens. Now it becomes much stronger because I have 4s and 5s to cover with 2s to hit. Okay. Let's say we have this here. So now the 4s that hit are duplicated to cover. That's going to weaken the position. That significantly weakens it, and it becomes a borderline double. Let's say we go back to the original position here and bring these 2 checkers forward. So now they're builders for the 3 points. That made a big difference. And now what if they're builders for the 2 point and the 3 point? Now it's really strong. Look at what double 5 does, for example. Makes the 3 point and the 1 point. Okay, so these are the exercises that I use to learn from whether I make an error or not. Okay, then the 5-2 was clear. The 6-2 just had to bring it around. Looks like it's slightly preferred. Bring the builder here. That's going to win some more gammons. You can see the difference here, but it loses more games. So that's what you want to look at. But the gammon value is high here, so it was okay. Anytime it's less than 0.01, I don't make a big deal of it. All right, 6-5 was just a hit, and then the 5-3 covered, the double 1. So this is a shifting play. This is the play I made, resulting in this position. It looks like it preferred this one, which resulted in this position. Okay, this spreads things out, doesn't leave the double 2s. I mean, the double 4s, has 3 active builders for the 4 point. And let's see, are there any doubles that make the point? Double 2. And what about here? Yeah, here there are 3, and it's a little bit awkward with this spare checker. Okay. Then the 4-1 was 13-8, and then I made the point, and that was pretty much it for that game. So then it was a Crawford game. 5-1 was just a split, and then the 4-3 was forced, and then the 4-3 again was hitting and bringing one down. The 5-2 was coming in here and then coming out. Just this resulted in this position, just kept things spread out, gives more coverage of the entire board. And then here I couldn't move. Then the 6-3, let's see. Oh, 6-3, I had 2 on the bar. Okay, and then the double 3 was, yeah, it was close to actually do this. Leave the blot. Wow. But this was the right play. Okay. Then the 6-2 was just to make the 2 point. It does leave a blot, but it makes a valuable asset. Okay, the 4-1, this was right to hit. So this is a play that I made, came in and spread out the checkers here 6-5, resulting in this position. The top play was actually hitting. I was looking at this, but I noticed there are a lot of return shots, but because the board is kind of open, it makes it a little easier. Let's look at the dice distribution. So this is what it looks like after the top play. There are those 9 dancing numbers. So after this, how would those dancing numbers play? Well, 6s are really good to anchor here. Fives will hit. And how does like 5-4 and 6-4 play? Reasonable. This is the dice distribution after the top play, which is this. This is the resulting position. With one on the bar, all the dancing numbers are really good, and that's what's shown here. With the second play here, those ones play okay, so they're not as good. So the difference here, there's some big swings on the 6-5, 6-4, 4-2, even the non-dancing rolls that contain one dancing number, such as 4-2, 5-1, 5-4. 5-4 does contain it, but like 4-2, 5-1, 4-1, and those ones are big. And look at what happens here. These are the differences. After play A, cannot move with 6-5 or 6-4, but otherwise 6-5 plays well. 24-14, 24-18, 14-9. So how does it plays 24-18, 14-9? And then after the second play is 6-4, just runs all the way. So that's one thing you really have to think about all the time is just look at the dancing roll, see if you can get some good swing numbers. Swing numbers are basically rolls that go from good to bad or bad to good. Okay. So then the 2-1, that was a good roll. I could make that anchor. And the 6-4 was come in, and there were no reasonable alternatives anyway. 3-1, I couldn't move. Then I was dancing here for a little while, and that was pretty much it for this game. Nothing I could do. All right. Then the 3-1 and double take. This is an automatic double on the take. Okay, and the 6-5 was just running. 5-3, here's where you want to not make the 3-punt. You want to come down. You don't want to run all the way. You don't want to bring it here. You want that spare here, and you want to unstack this point. 6-3 was a good roll. Just comes in and hits. Again, 6-3, made the 10-point. And then the 4-1, I just had to play safe. The 3-2, I kind of discussed this. I wanted to bring one down. The alternative was something like this, resulting in this position. But it's really awkward with the strip points here. And then here, there wasn't really a good alternative. The other one was here that left the blot. But if I'm going to leave a blot, you might as well put him on the bar, possibly get another shot here, and possibly move him forward. Then the double 6 was completely forced. And 6-3 was forced again. The 3-2, again, I did not want to make this point. This just leaves too many numbers. Then the double 2, these were all close. The 8-6, 5-3, 3 times would like the best, but they were all close. I looked at that too. So this one was right to make the point on head. And then I was able to make the point, and basically that was it. So that was the match. You see, when I study a match, I oftentimes spend more time analyzing it than I do playing it. And the reason for that is I go through every single move, the ones that I got right and the ones that I got wrong. Obviously, the ones that you got wrong, you want to look at to see why you got it wrong. But I also look at the ones that I got right, because sometimes I'm not sure whether it was right or not, and it's good to analyze it. If they were clear, I just go through it quickly. Other things that I do, and this is what I recommend to everybody, is number one, modify the position. See what happens when you change the position. See if it makes the correct play different. That'll give you an indication of why the correct play is correct. One of the most common things people say is XG does not talk to you. It does not give you the feedback. No, it does not speak with you. But the way you have to do it is by adjusting the position, modifying the position, making a variant position to see what the difference is. And then once you see that difference, that's the way it speaks to you, because it's giving you different numbers, and that will tell you exactly why the correct play is correct and the incorrect play is incorrect. Also look at the dice distribution. That's a feature that's available for USBGF Premium members. It's really easy when you can put a checker on the bar, look at the numbers that dance, and then see how those numbers play if you make the alternative play of not hitting. See how those play. If they become really bad, that's really a good indication that it's in favor of making a hitting play. Hitting does accomplish a lot of different things. Puts a checker on the bar, takes away half the roll, possibly all the roll, gains in the race, takes away the initiative, gives it tempo, a lot of things. These are all explained very thoroughly in Dirk Schieman's upcoming book. It's called To Hit or Not to Hit, and I'm very excited about that. The other thing I do specifically for doubling decisions when I play a match, I look at just about every doubling decision and modify the score. So just like I said, you can modify the position, you can also modify the score. This will teach you a lot in terms of match strategy, because at one score, it becomes a big double or perhaps a pass, but it's probably sometimes it's not even a double or a blunder to double at a different score. So looking at that will help you learn a lot about match strategy. And when I'm thinking about doubling or not doubling or taking or passing, you always want to think about what happens. So if you're doubling, you want to think about what happens if you double and win, or what happens when you don't double and win. So what score will you get to? Well, you get to a valuable score. If you get to 0 winning the match perfectly, that's the most valuable score. Other valuable scores include anytime you're 1 away at the Crawford game because you have a cushion, the opponent may not use the cube, the game must be played until its conclusion. So you have an advantage because the opponent cannot double. After the Crawford game, the post-Crawford game, the opponent can double and often does double at the first opportunity. Other valuable scores are 2-way and 4-way. 2-way is very valuable because if you win an undoubled game, you win the match with perfect efficiency. Or if you win a single game on a 2 cube, you also win the match with perfect efficiency. The 4-way phenomenon is very interesting. Anytime you're at a 4-way score, 4-way is a valuable score because the double gammon wins you the match perfectly. So even when you're ahead, 4-way, 5-way, that's the only score in a match where the leader is going to double more aggressively than the trailer. Other than that, the trailer wants to double more aggressively, such as 5-way, 3-way, 5-way, 2-way, 4-way, 3-way, 4-way, 2-way, and 3-way, 2-way. Also, 4-way, 2-way, you want to double really aggressively. You also want to double more aggressively at 4-way, 3-way. At 5-way, 4-way, you want to double a little bit more aggressively, but not quite so much. At 3-way, 2-way, you also want to double more aggressively. At 3-way, 3-way, you want to double more aggressively. Also, you want to think about, like, let's say you're the person being doubled. You want to see what happens if you pass. If you pass, does your opponent get to a valuable score? Or if you take and win, do you get to a valuable score? You want to think about all these things. You can memorize gammon values. You can memorize match equity tables and do all those calculations. But if you can't do all that in your head, that's too much to remember. You can just think about what score each player will get to, and that will help you a lot. So that was a 5-point match against XG. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. We now have a membership option where you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos like this one. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in the lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. I look forward to seeing everyone in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.